Okay, to get this top O-ring out, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this, I'm trying to add some light to it. The first thing you wanna do is take a piece of paper towel, just a small piece, and stuff down in there to keep any shards of metal or anything from getting down too deep into the injector. You're gonna pull this out and then use an air nozzle to blow it out later. But for right now, just try to keep any pieces of metal out of there. Okay, this little C-clip on the top can be difficult, and you need to be wearing, I would say, cut-resistant gloves, or ideally put this in a vise. My vise is not in a well-lit part of the shop though, so I'm doing this where you can see it. Get this in a vise. I would put either cardboard or a piece of wood on here. These are still the old O-rings, so it doesn't matter if you tear them up, but get the body of it into a vise that you're not gonna mar the metal. If you have aluminum teeth on there, that'd probably be fine, or brass teeth, you'd probably be fine. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna take a razor blade, and of everything I've tried so far, this seems to work the best. And I've got the end of the C-clip right here. I'm just gonna get it a little bit before that. I haven't taken any O-rings out of the top. You're just gonna kind of wiggle that blade in behind it, and now we're out. You can see that I'm underneath that C-clip. Hold it down so it doesn't go flying. Kind of just work it out gently, and you're out. That took all about 5 seconds. The longest I've had this take me to try to remove the inner O-ring and shove the new one down in there was upwards of an hour for the back injector. So if you're gonna do this, go ahead and pull your injectors, buy a new set of O-rings, and just do everything the right way while you're here. Don't try to take a shortcut. It's gonna take you longer, and it's gonna risk damaging your parts anyway. Okay, now that that is out, there is a little guide ring here that kind of lines up the nipple cups when you put the high pressure oil rail back on there. Go ahead and get that out. Might be easier just to dump it. I was trying to do it on camera though. Kind of work your way around. Okay. This is directional. One side is square cut. One side has a little bit of a bevel to it. You need that bevel facing up when you put it back together. That guides those nipple cups in. Now that that's out, your O-ring just falls out. Don't mix up your old and your new. Your new O-ring is non-directional. Just set it in there, gently press it down, make sure it gets seated where it's supposed to go. I think that's pretty well seated. Okay, now you're gonna take this metal guide, I guess is what I'm going to call it, this metal guide ring. Make sure your bevel is facing up. It is a very snug fit, so make sure that you get it lined up. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to go ahead and use a new C-clip. You might be able to reuse your old one. This is pretty easy too though. You're just going to set it down, get one side started, and start working your way in. It's a little more difficult to put it in than it was to take it out, but not much. It would help if I had some manly calluses or something. Okay. I'm trying to keep this on camera for you too. I know my hands are in the way for a lot of this. You're getting there. Let's see here. I have a little wooden stick I was using earlier for this, a little piece of dowel rod that worked pretty well. There we go. Okay, C-clip is in. Make sure you get all the wood out of it. Kind of work around, make sure that C-clip is seated in there properly. Okay, that took 5 minutes on camera. It's a little bit quicker off camera, but I've never had one of these take less than about 30 minutes trying to do it in the vehicle, and you're going to run the risk of completely destroying your new top ring. So, throw that away. I like to get all the O-rings off at this point, so you don't forget to replace any of them. Make sure you separate all the old ones from the new ones. You don't really need a tool to remove these. You can just squeeze them from the sides usually, and then roll them out. Okay, I like to put the smaller one on first. Oops, off camera there. And get your larger one, which goes up a little higher. And again, if you're not trying to record this, this really does go pretty quickly. Got those on. This one is where you might want to have a pick to get it over the clips. So I have to get it started on one side and then work my way around. There we go. Okay, that one's in. Now this teeny tiny one, just gently get it pressed down into the groove that it sits in. Work your way around. Be careful not to damage the injector pins in here. Not sure why this one doesn't want to go in. This is actually the hardest any of them have ever fought me. What's going on? There you go. I don't know what this thing is, about an 1/8 inch piece of oak dowel. That comes in handy with these injectors a lot. Okay, now, should have taken this off earlier, this little copper crush washer. Kind of work your way around gently. Once you get it up a little bit, it'll pop right off, typically. Okay, now when you get your new one on here, you're gonna need this little socket. This is, I believe it's an 8mm. Yep, 8mm socket. And you need something for your injector to sit on so that you're not hammering on all of them. Piece of scrap wood underneath this. See if I can get you where you can see it. Okay. Get your crush washer on there with that little ridge facing up. You can kind of start it by hand, but then you're going to want to use this socket to press it on. Just gently tap it down. It'll fully seat once you get it on the engine. You can kind of see that. Okay. Unless I missed something, that's really all there is to it. On camera, 9 minutes, 37 seconds. Part of that was running around the shop trying to find little pieces of scrap. That's how you should do it. You should never try to do one of these in the vehicle. And you should never try to remove that inner O-ring and put a new one in without also removing the C-clip and the retaining ring, the guide ring. It's so easy to get these rings out. I don't know why no one on here seems to want to do it that way. If you're going to replace all the other parts, you may as well replace that little C-clip while you're at it and not destroy your O-ring in the process of trying to make a shortcut. Here's another one. Make sure you're wearing your safety goggles and your gloves so that you don't end up with metal in your eyes. There you go. Once you get it started, it'll work right out of there. There it is. Gently work that ring out of there. Make sure you throw away all your old parts, except for that guide ring. These don't look to be in too bad a shape, but I was going to have them out anyway. I wanted to get them replaced. All right, that's how you do it.